You know, it's funny when you really think about it. You can go just about anywhere on the face of the earth, from those little street-side food stalls you see in Hanoi, all the way to some fancy upscale restaurant in Paris, and even those roadside eateries in India, or even the huge shopping centers in Dubai, and you're practically guaranteed to find chicken somewhere on the menu. And it's not like it's beef, or pork, or lamb that's dominating. It's pretty much always chicken. You've got your fried chicken, grilled chicken, braised chicken, chicken curry, even chicken in pho. Then there's honey-glazed chicken, roast chicken. Honestly, I could go on forever. And let's not forget chicken and fish sauce, and just all sorts of different chicken dishes. They're everywhere, and what's more, they're always selling like crazy. It always comes back to chicken. So that really brings up the question, what makes chicken so universally loved and the go-to global food, rather than pork, or lamb, or goat, or some other kind of meat? Well, let's dive into a few reasons behind chicken's worldwide reign. The staggering numbers. When you think about it, there probably isn't any other animal on the entire planet that gets eaten quite as much as chicken. Just think, every year, humans slaughter somewhere between 73 and 75 billion chickens just for food. That's a mind-blowing amount. What that means is, practically every time the clock ticks, we're talking about roughly 2,400 chickens that have just finished their job of, being dinner. We're talking 2,400 chickens every single second, a whopping 144,000 every minute, and close to 9 million chickens per hour. If chickens ever formed some kind of union, they would definitely be suing humanity for gobbling them down so fast. As it stands today, there are more than 33 billion chickens living on Earth at the same time, which is approximately 4 times the entire human population. Looking at global chicken meat production, the numbers are pretty staggering, reaching approximately 103 million tons every year, according to the most recent data. So, just to paint a clear picture, out of every 10 kilograms of meat produced across the globe, chicken accounts for almost 4 kilograms of that. The heavy hitters in the chicken meat world are definitely the United States, Brazil, and China, who are the top 3 producers. And it's interesting to note that the U.S. is not only the largest producer, but also the biggest consumer of chicken meat across the planet. Just the U.S. alone devours more than 18 million tons of chicken every single year. When you break it down, Americans are eating an average of around 37 kilograms of chicken each year, which translates to more than half a kilogram every week. Meanwhile, if you look at Vietnam, people there consume around 18 kilograms per year. Although that may seem lower, it's still about 4 times higher than it was some 30 years ago. And when you calculate the total protein consumed worldwide, chicken meat makes up around 40%. The speed and global reach. What's even more impressive is how quickly chickens grow today. A commercially raised chicken now only takes about 5 to 6 weeks to reach 2.5 kg, which is 4 times faster than it took chickens around 70 years ago. This incredible growth rate is the result of advances in genetic technology and the use of modern animal feed. Basically, they've gone from being free-range chickens casually roaming around to industrial chickens sprinting to meet those deadlines. And when it comes to the fast food scene, chicken is undeniably the global superstar. KFC, for example, has more than 26,000 stores spread across more than 150 countries, serving a staggering 400 million people every single month. In other words, about 1 out of every 20 people on Earth is munching down on some KFC fried chicken. Here's another interesting fact to consider. Before chicken became a food item, it actually held sacred symbolism. Back in Vietnam, the rooster represented culture, martial arts, courage, benevolence, and trustworthiness. Meanwhile, in Europe, you'd often find a rooster standing on top of a church roof, which symbolized light and life. It's truly rare to find an animal that can be both on an altar and also simmering in a hot pot. History, logistics, and religion. So, Getting back to the core question, what exactly makes chicken a global food instead of, say, beef or pork? Well, let's start by looking at the history of chickens. The chickens we eat today all trace back to the red jungle fowl, which is this small wild bird that's native to the humid forests of Southeast Asia. Around 8,000 years ago, humans figured out that these birds were pretty easy to catch, didn't require much effort to raise, and laid eggs pretty consistently year-round. So, people started domesticating them, turning them from wildlife into kitchen companions. That's when the chicken's adventure with humans really kicked off, hitching a ride with ancient Indian merchants. Eventually, chicken found its way to Egypt, and from there spread out across Europe. When Portuguese and Spanish navigators started their world explorations in the 15th century, they brought chickens along to Africa, the Americas, and all sorts of places in the Pacific. Basically, this small animal traveled the world even faster than Columbus. The cool thing about chickens is how easy they are to raise. They aren't picky eaters. They'll pretty much eat anything, and they don't need vast expanses of land. And they grow super quickly, only taking a few months. That makes chicken one of the most affordable and efficient sources of protein that humans have ever had. But even that isn't quite the full story of why chicken has become a global staple. Another huge factor comes down to religion. Muslims are forbidden from eating pork. In India, Hindus consider cows sacred. But amidst all these different rules and taboos, chicken has managed to slip through the cracks and become acceptable in almost every culture. Chickens are kind of neutral, so chicken has essentially become a culinary bridge between different cultures. No other meat has been able to overcome those barriers. If we want to be a bit humorous about it, you could say that chicken is the diplomat of the food world. You don't see countries protesting chicken meat, religions banning chicken, or cultural groups opposing it. And because nobody really forms a super deep emotional bond with chickens, there are fewer moral objections to slaughtering them. So, from a psychological standpoint, chicken is pretty easy to accept. That's probably a big reason why KFC, McDonald's, Jollibee, Lotteria, or Texas Chicken can open up shop in hundreds of different countries without facing much resistance. Efficiency and versatility. And let's talk about the practical side of raising chickens. No other animal gives you as much bang for your buck. A cow takes more than 2 years. Pigs are prone to diseases. But chickens, they eat a little, grow quickly, have a fast production cycle, and don't need much space. That's why, thanks to its low cost, quick production, and ability to thrive in different environments, chicken meat has become the most cost-effective source of protein on the planet. Beyond just raising chickens, there's also the simple fact that chicken is incredibly versatile. It's easy to cook, easy to eat, and it suits just about every taste in the world. You can cook it however you want. Boiled is delicious. Fried is delicious. Grilled is delicious. Curry is delicious. The point is, there are thousands of dishes you can make with chicken. While beef might be the heart of steak, chicken is the backbone of fast food. Just from the fast food industry alone, we consume over 100 billion chickens every single year. That means that every second, more than 3,000 chickens are slaughtered. But here's another interesting fact. Chickens have also become incredibly important in modern biology. During World War II, the vaccine for typhus was developed using chicken eggs. And today, most flu vaccines are still incubated on chicken embryos. Every year, we use hundreds of millions of eggs for medical research. That means that chicken is not only a food source, it's also a symbol of how far human agricultural technology has come. And if you were to ask what animal is sacrificed the most around the world, the answer would probably be chicken. In Vietnam, a golden boiled chicken is an essential item on the altar during Tet, weddings, and funerals. The chicken is always associated with new beginnings, light, and life. So, a small animal carries a huge cultural weight that goes far beyond national borders. Many people ask, if chicken is so great, why not just replace it with some other animal? Well, the truth is, people have tried pretty much everything. Cows need a lot of space, and they're forbidden in India. Pigs are easier to raise, but the Muslim world won't eat them. That just leaves chicken. It's small, it's quick, it's cheap, it's neutral, it's easy to cook, and it fits pretty much every requirement you could think of. Chicken is a food that does not discriminate against religion, does not cause controversy. Everyone can eat it, and everyone likes it. The chicken has traveled a magnificent journey of over 8,000 years. Do you happen to like chicken meat? Thank you a lot for tuning in and hearing this story. If you thought it was interesting, feel free to hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and share it with your friends. And now it's time for me to say goodbye. Music.